Hey everybody, Paul Turner here from thediscipleproject.net and paulturnerspeaks.com, here with video number 2 in our book club series on Growing With by Powell and Steve Argue. It is a fantastic book, and if you're new here and you haven't had time to watch maybe the first video in the series, I'll put a link right here so that you can go back and watch that if you want to, but you don't have to watch that one to watch this one. But welcome in. Thanks for being a part today. Today, I want to talk to you about what the book talks about is the 3 stages that teens go through and the 3 roles that parents can take on to help students navigate those 3 stages. Now, stage 1, according to the book, are learners, and those, that is 13 through 18. Years of age, and basically what that means is that kids are learning. They're learning what that means to be in their new bodies at that age, what it means to have these new emotions that they're dealing with, and how to live out faith on their own. The second stage that they talk about is the exploring stage, and that's 19 to 23 years old. And really what they're exploring is they're exploring their career paths, their interests, their gifts, talents, things that they're trying out. And they're really exploring new ways to relate to their parents. And I can attest to that as I have 3 kids and have gone through that exploration phase, and it worked out okay. It worked out pretty good. The third is the focusers, and those are the 24 to 29-year-olds, and that is where they are focusing on careers, relationships, and their beliefs as to whether or not they're going to follow in their parents, where maybe they disagree with their parents in their faith journey, and what they do about it. And so, those are the 3 stages the book talks about. And as one, like I said, who has experienced all 3 of those stages, there are places in those stages where I got maybe stuck, and maybe where some of your parents, if you're a youth pastor, youth worker, that you see your parents getting stuck because they're maybe not figuring out what role they're supposed to take on. And that's what the book does. The book does a good job of saying, okay, if you have a learner, then you should probably take on the role as a teacher. If your kids are in that explorer phase, then you should take on the role as a guide. And if you have those focusers, ages 24 to 29, then you should probably be a resourcer. And I like how they line up the stage and the role that the parent can take on. Now, what the book does really well is it breaks down those 3 roles for parents and asks some really good questions that I want to share with you. For the teacher parent, they say questions like, where is my child growing and how do I affirm their progress? What are some new ways to connect with my kids during this learning stage? And where does my child need feedback to help them grow in their knowledge, habits, skills, or competencies? For the guiding parents, the questions are, what can I help them see or notice about their current situation they're in? How can I encourage them to focus on their past, present, or future? And as they grow into adults, how can I encourage them to try on their own? And then for the resourcing parent, what can I share from my life events that may help them? What encouragement can I give them during this stage? And how do I follow up with them without looking like I'm checking up on them? And I love those questions simply because it encourages parents to dig deep so they can grow themselves to be able to meet the challenges of the stage that their kid is in. And these become great, for the youth pastor, these become great questions because you can start to formulate some ideas to be able to give to parents and say, hey, have you thought about this? Or have you tried this? Or have you gone in this direction? Once again, if you're not going to be able to, parenting is very personal and it's very subjective. And as a youth pastor, for 30 years, I tried my best to stay out of it. To not present myself as the answer to a situation, although I crossed that line a few times. But in the end, I probably should have taken a more relaxed look and held back. And if I had this book, I'd have figured that out. But in the end, you just have to be a resource to the parents to be able to say, hey, listen, have you thought maybe about these questions, or have you thought about this approach, or things like that. And that's really all you can do as a youth worker, and to do parent ministry is to be empathetic, to listen, to maybe offer some suggestions, and then hang back and pray and be available when it's time for your turn to step up when parents do have questions. So, but I do love, and I'll leave you with this little affirmation that Steve and Kara leave at the end of chapter 2. And they say, and this becomes something you can reiterate to the parents that are around you. Number one, no one loves your kid the way you do. No one loves the kid. I love that. Nobody. I'm just the youth pastor. I can't love your kid more than you can love your kid. I love your kid, but there's only so much I'm going to be able to do. You love your kid way more than anybody else. Number two, you are the best parent for this child. Sometimes, as a youth pastor, there are cases where we're almost a substitute parent in some cases, but for the most part, we're just the youth pastor. We have to be able to communicate to parents, says, listen, you are the best parent for this child, to be able to empower and encourage that parent so that they can take on the role. We don't want to be youth pastors. We don't want to be the parent. We want to be the youth pastor. We want to help in certain areas, but we don't want to take on that role because that role has already been given to this parent by God. So why not help them become the best parent that they can be? And the third affirmation they give is this: you have what it takes to be the best parent for your kid. That's super empowering, and that's something we as youth pastors can come alongside and encourage parents and say, listen, you have what it takes. You don't know everything, and neither do I, but if we can partner together, maybe we can see the light at the end of the tunnel of this situation, and just say to the parents, say, listen, I'm here. If you need me, I am here to help, and that is all. I'm not here to take over. I'm not here to take anybody's place. I'm here to know my role and to help equip you the best way I know how to fulfill your role as the parent of this kid. And so, but that's it, guys. That's some wisdom from chapter 2 and from the book Growing With by Kara Powell and Steve Argy. I hope you'll check it out. If you don't have the book, there is a link down below you can check out and buy the book off of Amazon there. So now let me turn the tables on you. Let me help you practice your parenting ministry skills there. What advice would you give to me if my child is 13 years old and I'm a teacher parent, right? And I'm struggling with these emotional outbreaks, maybe. What kind of wisdom would you give me? Maybe I'm a guiding parent and I am wondering about my kid and whether or not they're going to choose college or vocational school, or how can I help? How can I help guide them into some of these new choices and these places that they're checking out? And what if I'm a resourcing parent? What if I'm a parent who's helping navigate my young adult, and what can I share with them to help them and give them the things that they need to accomplish what God's given them to do? I need those answers. I'm a parent, right? So I'm a parent in your ministry. Those are your questions. Help me. What kind of wisdom would you give me if I was a parent in your youth ministry and I came to you with some of those things? So feel free to practice right here and leave your suggestions. All right, that's it for today, guys. Appreciate you guys checking out the channel. If you're brand spanking new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, join the community. And if you're a regular, as always, thank you so much for your time and attention. Hit that thumbs up button. That lets me know you like the video and you want more of them. So that's it for today. We'll catch you guys in the next video. Talk to you later.